Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching Gravitas with me, Molly Gambhir. Let's get started. Our top focus tonight is on the Russia-Ukraine war as Russia and Ukraine continue to attack each other, unleashing waves of drones, and the drone war heats up. We are decoding the developments from the battlefield and the messaging from the two sides. That's coming up in just a bit, and here's a look at what else is lined up for you on the show tonight. With the Nasser hospital in Gaza attacked, we are looking at the bigger picture. Is nothing sacrosanct for Israel and its prime minister? We tell you all about a new and deadly chapter unfolding in West Asia with key developments and rising stakes and a new kind of missile technology being unleashed. All this and more coming up. A day ago, Ukraine marked its Independence Day under bombs, and today it has seemingly lost more territory to Russian forces as it claims new advances. The war in Ukraine is showing no signs of easing as of now, despite the US-led efforts to find peace. Sure, there is talk of peace, but on the battlefield, the moves continue. On Monday, Russia said that its forces had captured another village called Zaporizhzhia, located in Ukraine's Dnipropetrovsk region. It's an important industrial hub that has until recently been spared from this heaviest fighting of the war. Ukraine, of course, denies the Russian forces have gained any foothold there, but in the last 24 hours, Russia, on the other hand, claiming strikes on a Ukrainian missile depot, drone factories and troop positions. In fact, the Russian Defense Ministry has said that its air defense units also destroyed 3 HIMARS rockets and more than 170 Ukrainian drones in one day. Ukraine has said that it countered the Russian onslaught as its troops fought 85 clashes along the front lines on Sunday. They noted that the fiercest battles continue near Pokrovsk. More importantly, in recent times, Ukraine has also more frequently carried out bold attacks on Russia's energy infrastructure. Its forces claim to have hit a Russian oil refinery in Samara and set fire to a dock at a port on the Baltic Sea. It is Russia's second largest port. This even after the US has reportedly blocked Ukraine from firing long-range missiles into Russian territory for several months. According to new reports, Zelensky has responded to the reports, saying Ukraine has recently been using its own weapons and not consulting Washington over its strikes. And what's more, both sides have unleashed waves of drones at each other. Just today, Ukraine saying Russia launched over 100 drones, killing a 37-year-old civilian driver in Sumy. Meanwhile, Moscow says Kyiv sent 24 drones deep into western Russia. Drone attacks even reached the Kursk nuclear power plant in western Russia, sparking a massive fire. Authorities insist there were no casualties and no radiation risk. And as both sides drop deadly weapons at each other, the president of Ukraine has taken the opportunity to renew his call for a summit with the Russian President Vladimir Putin, insisting that the format of talks between the leaders is the most effective way forward. And this is an interesting and crucial development because, remember, it was Zelensky himself who had signed a decree banning talks with Russia. And now this new plea also comes as Ukraine and Russia exchanged 146 prisoners each, including 2 Ukrainian journalists. On Monday, he announced Ukraine aims to secure at least $1 billion a month from allies to buy U.S. weapons through NATO's Prioritized Ukraine Requirements List, PURL program. And as more and more European countries promise more weapons for Ukraine, Russia is setting down its own red lines. The Russian foreign minister has said that Ukraine must remain neutral, non-aligned, and outside NATO. And these have been Russia's non-negotiables as far as ending the war with Ukraine is concerned. Lavrov also said that group of guarantors, possibly the permanent members of the UN Security Council, along with Germany and Turkey, should oversee Ukraine's security. Lavrov recalled the failed Istanbul talks of 2022, when neutrality was offered in exchange for guarantees from major powers. And he was blunt, by the way, that protection for Russian speakers must be included. And there are still territorial discussions to be had.
As regards the security guarantees for Ukraine, those principles proposed by Ukrainian delegation, I underline this once again, they provided for creation a group of guarantors. This group containing of permanent members of the Security Council, Russia, US, China, UK, and France. Plus, they mentioned Germany, Turkey, and any other country which would be interested to join this group of guarantors. And guarantors would be guaranteeing the security of Ukraine, which must be neutral, which must be non-aligned with any military bloc, and which must be non-nuclear.
Despite Russia's firm stand, Ukraine is not about to cave in. Speaking at the ceremony marking the anniversary of Ukraine's independence, Zelensky said, and I'm quoting, "Ukraine has not yet fully won, but it will certainly not lose. Ukraine is not a victim, it is a fighter," quote unquote. European leaders, meanwhile, have echoed their support. Norway pledged $700 million towards supplying 2 US-made Patriot air defense systems together with Germany. Prioritized Ukraine requirements list. Yet the reality on the ground is unchanged. Russia now controls about 1/5 of Ukraine, including Crimea, and continues to reject Western calls for a ceasefire. The war has already claimed tens of thousands of lives, displaced millions, left cities in ruins. We'll have to wait and watch for where things are headed from here onwards. One day, Ukraine celebrates its independence. The next, it buries more victims of war. How long will it really take for dialogue to silence those guns? And we're now turning our attention to West Asia, where a series of airstrikes by Israel at the Nasser hospital in Gaza claimed the lives of at least 20 people, including 5 journalists, according to the Palestinian Health Ministry. The latest Israeli strike is being described as yet another example of Israel targeting civilian targets, leading to that big question: is nothing sacrosanct for Israel and its Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu? Because in the nearly 2-year-long war, the Nasser hospital in Khan Yunis, like many other hospitals in Gaza, have been targets of IDF strikes on multiple occasions. And the latest strike was the 5th distinct instance of this medical facility being hit. لا حصر الآن خليك According to the Palestinian authorities, victims in the hospital were killed in a double strike. Allegedly, an Israeli drone first struck the rooftop of the hospital, which killed at least one journalist, which was then followed by an Israeli airstrike. Video released by the Reuters news agency showing the exact moment when the second strike took place. Just as rescue workers, journalists and locals rushed to the site of the initial attack and could be seen carrying a body.
أحمد السار السار يا الله هيها افتح مجال تعال افتح مجال طلع لما حد يقول من عندكم حسام هي حسام يا جماعة حسام يا أحمد أحمد السار السار يا الله هيها افتح مجال تعال افتح مجال طلع لما حد يقول من عندكم في شهيد
Another video showing hospital staff evacuating in panic mode among the scenes of destruction amid the debris and the smoke. In fact, in a statement, the IDF admitted to carrying out the airstrike, with the chief of the general staff ordering an inquiry. In the statement, I'm quoting, in fact, the Israeli army has also said that the IDF regrets any harm to uninvolved individuals and does not target journalists as such. The IDF acts to mitigate harm to uninvolved individuals as much as possible while maintaining the safety of the IDF troops, quote unquote. According to Gaza's government media office, the journalists killed in the Israeli attack include a photojournalist associated with Reuters news agency, an Al Jazeera photojournalist, a journalist associated with the NBC network, a journalist working with Arabic and international media outlets. Since the start of the war, at least 240 journalists have reportedly been killed. In the immediate aftermath of the attack, the Director General of the World Health Organization called for an end to Israeli attacks on healthcare, along with an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. While press freedom group Reporters Without Borders urged for a robust international response, and civilians continue to be the ones the most impacted. In fact, until May 2025, at least 5 out of 6 Palestinians killed by Israeli forces in Gaza have been civilians. This is according to figures revealed by classified Israeli military intelligence. While according to a report by a UK government committee, as of mid-July, at least 875 people have been killed while seeking food in Gaza, with most dying in the vicinity of the Israeli-backed US Gaza Humanitarian Foundation food distribution centers. The airstrikes on the hospital in Khan Yunis coinciding with Israel planning to step up its attack for a full takeover of Gaza, a plan approved earlier this month by the Israeli government as a key approach in defeating Hamas. Earlier today itself, Israeli army tanks and soldiers could also be seen at the Gaza border, even as plumes of smoke rose in the background. Israeli planes and tanks have been carrying out strikes across various parts of Gaza, while on ground, combat operations by the IDF soldiers continue. Amid all of this, Gaza's humanitarian crisis worsening. As of last Friday, over 500,000 people in Gaza are facing famine-like conditions, marked by abject starvation. The death toll in the war has already crossed 62,000.
We have no lentils, no flour, no sugar, no rice. You can come and see where we live. We go to sleep without dinner. As you can see, my body is thin. I suffer from high blood pressure, diabetes, and heart disease. Hunger makes it so bad that I can no longer see clearly.
Meanwhile, the skies over West Asia are on fire as a new and deadly chapter in an escalating conflict is unfolding. Following a barrage of sophisticated Houthi missiles, Israel has launched a punishing retaliatory strike on Yemen, a blow that has left 6 dead and 86 injured. A new kind of missile technology, once an Iranian secret, is now being unleashed in a terrifying new front.
The opening shot came from Yemen. A Houthi missile climbed, then split many heads from one body. Houthis for the first time used a missile with MERV territory. Multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles riding a single booster. Israeli reply was immediate and punishing. Jets tore across the Red Sea and hit Houthi positions in Yemen.
The Air Force again attacked strategic targets in Yemen today. It attacked the presidential palace in the heart of the capital, Sana'a, the city's power plant, and the fuel tanks that supply it. The Houthi terrorist regime is learning the hard way that it will pay, and is paying a very heavy price for its aggression against the state of Israel.
Houthis have been firing ballistic missiles on Israel. Almost all of them have been successfully intercepted in air before they could hit the target. But this time it was different. One missile, many warheads. Israeli missile shields, Iron Dome, David's Sling, Arrow are brilliant at picking off singular threats. Even small salvos, but MERVs fracture in the sky. Each re-entry vehicle can maneuver, dive, and detour. Some carry explosives, others may carry decoys. This makes it very difficult for even the most advanced missile defense shields to intercept them. Tehran's shadow is unmistakable. Iran has spent years perfecting multi-warhead missiles. It showcased long-range missile prowess during that furious 12-day confrontation with Israel. For now, the Houthis, who have the backing of Tehran, have signaled that their arsenal isn't just bigger, it is smarter. Israel has signaled that any such leap will be met with steel. Bureau Report, WION, World is One.
And before we go on any further, here's a quick look at what else is lined up for you on the show tonight. What is the story of Russia's deadliest warship? Why is it being dubbed the Sea Terminator? We tell you all about Moscow's major naval expansion and what it means. Foreign nationals have taken to the streets of India's Gurugram, cleaning up drains, yet another ugly reminder of the collapsing infrastructure there. Why and how have things even reached this point? We get you the bigger picture. All this and more coming up. India has informed Pakistan about a flood situation in the Tavi River. With the Indus Waters Treaty in abeyance, India alerted Pakistan about the flood risks via its High Commission to the Pakistan Foreign Ministry. Notably, this is the first time India has used this mechanism to alert Pakistan about the flood situation via its High Commission. Heavy rainfall caused severe flooding in Jammu with 190.4 millimeters of rain recorded in 24 hours, the second highest August downpour in a century. Rivers like the Tavi, Ravi, Basantar have swelled up, prompting high alerts for disaster response teams. Usually under the Indus Waters Treaty, information is shared through the Indus Water Commissioners. The Indus Waters Treaty governs the use of rivers flowing downstream from India into Pakistan's Indus Basin. India had kept the treaty in abeyance after the Pahalgam attack in April, citing Pakistan's support for cross-border terrorism. Meanwhile, floods across Pakistan have killed 785 since the monsoon started in late June, with alerts issued of 2 more rain spells by September 10. In Punjab province, rescue teams on Sunday urged residents of villages along the Sutlej River to evacuate immediately due to rapidly rising water levels. According to the Provincial Disaster Management Authority, the river reached a high flood level, prompting the authorities issuing a high alert for the region. Over 19,000 people have been evacuated from the flood-prone areas in the past 24 hours, with rescue operations ongoing in districts including Pakpatan and Vihari.
Currently, the river's water flow stands at 122,000 cusecs, indicating a high flood level. However, many residents remain hesitant to leave their homes. We're prioritizing voluntary evacuations, providing transport services to those who want to relocate. So far, we've assisted over 5,000 people and evacuated more than 800 cattle. We're not resorting to forced evacuations at this time, focusing on supporting those who choose to leave.
Russia deploying its deadliest warship, dubbed the Sea Terminator, armed with unstoppable hypersonic missiles. The vessel is a serious threat to aircraft carriers and submarines. Our next report exploring Moscow's $100 billion naval expansion. That is, in a way, reshaping global balance.
It begins with a single shell hitting the water. Not with a splash, but a silent strike. Russia has deployed Admiral Amelko, hailed as the Sea Terminator. This warship carries Zircon hypersonic missiles designed to hunt down nuclear submarines and sink aircraft carriers with lethal precision. Why are these missiles unstoppable? Speed kills defense systems. Hypersonic weapons travel 5 times faster than sound. Zircon travels at more than 11,000 kilometers per hour. Traditional radars cannot track them effectively. Zircon can be armed with a 400 kilogram payload, which can be either conventional or nuclear. The new Russian warship also carries Caliber cruise missiles, anti-ship weapons and advanced sonar systems. Submarines can't hide. Surface ships can't escape. But this represents only the beginning. President Putin has unveiled sweeping naval expansion plans requiring $100 billion to construct new warships and transform naval capabilities through 2050. Key aspects include advancing mass production of indigenous maritime drones, robotic systems, and uncrewed underwater vessels. Hypersonic armed frigates, modern battle cruisers, amphibious giants all signal the Kremlin's ambition to dominate the oceans. For global navies, the message is clear. prepare for a new era of naval warfare. Bureau Report, WION World.
The United States has added $1 trillion in debt in just 48 days, nearly $21 billion per day. And that brings the total federal debt close to $38 trillion, 5 years ahead of earlier projections. Washington posted a $291 billion deficit in July alone, the second largest on record for that month. Deficits for this fiscal year are already running at $1.63 trillion, up more than 7% from last year and on pace to exceed $2 trillion. Meanwhile, the government spending has surged to 44% of the GDP, levels unseen since World War II and the 2008 financial crisis. Revenues are growing at just 2.5% annually, while spending jumped nearly 10% last month. This contradicts Trump's cost-cutting initiative under Elon Musk, which failed to cut costs and ease the U.S. debt crisis. Analysts noting this is a spending crisis, not just an interest rate issue. Interest costs are now greater than defense or Medicare spending. Rating agencies, including Moody's, have downgraded U.S. credit, citing worsening fiscal outlook and rising governance crisis. The Congressional Budget Office, meanwhile, projects federal debt held by the public will climb to 107% of the GDP by 2029, surpassing the World War II peak. Global investors warning that higher debt may eventually demand higher borrowing costs. Some policymakers have floated tariffs to plug the gap, but economists are arguing that they add inflationary pressure and do little to actually slow down the deficits. With political gridlock in a way blocking fiscal reforms, analysts are cautioning that America risks sliding into what some are calling a debt spiral, threatening long-term growth, fiscal credibility, and the dollar's so-called global dominance. U.S. President Donald Trump's security crackdown in Washington, D.C., meanwhile, has intensified and is now meeting rising resistance from the people. National Guard troops patrolling the streets now been ordered to carry firearms. Take a look. Foreign nationals taking to Gurugram streets with brooms, cleaning up the drains that the government has neglected. The viral video exposing India's so-called Millennium City drowning in filth, despite collecting billions in taxes. Our next story takes a closer look at the situation in Gurugram and the collapsing infrastructure there. Take a look.
It's an image that stings. A group of foreigners and locals rolling up their sleeves, pulling trash from clogged drains in Gurugram. Not city workers, not government staff, outsiders, doing what the system should have done long ago.
इंडिया बहुत सुंदर है, लेकिन ये मलबा अच्छा नहीं है, सो मेरा मलबा मेरा रिस्पांसिबिलिटी है.
This is India's Millennium City, home to Fortune 500 headquarters, luxury towers and swanky malls. Gurugram has the third highest per capita income in India. It is the 9th largest contributor of income tax among Indian cities. But where does it go? Certainly not into drainage, road repair or civic upkeep. Potholes open manholes, threaten lives, and garbage chokes every corner. After every spell of rain, this is what Gurugram looks like. The roads turn into rivers, cars stall, homes flood, office hubs get marooned. Behind the shimmering skyline lies a city crumbling under its own weight. If expats can see the filth, why can't the authorities, who draw massive budgets to maintain the city? If volunteers can clear drains, why can't civic contractors? Gurugram is not short on money, it's short on accountability.
Sir, this idea came because if you can see, this land is beautiful. India is amazing, but the only problem is people need to take care of something that's also outside of the house. So Indian people are one of the cleanest people on the planet. Everybody takes care of themselves, they take care of their homes. But the moment it comes out to something that's outside, they think it's not their issue. So we have to change that. So I'm not inviting people to go around cleaning Delhi and everything. Just clean outside your house. 2 meters, that's enough. So everybody needs to take this kind of responsibility.
These images have gone viral, sparking storms on social media, with citizens echoing concerns and calling for civic reform. Here, apathy runs deeper than monsoon floods. Haryana unveiled a comprehensive action plan to tackle Gurugram's civic woes, addressing sanitation, drainage, roads, garbage burning and stray animals. Bureau Report, WION World is One.
Evergrande's crisis has taken a decisive turn as its shares were officially delisted from the Hong Kong Stock Exchange. Trading had already been suspended since January 2024 when the High Court ordered the developer to be wound up. Once valued as China's second largest property company, Evergrande defaulted in 2021 after missing crucial debt repayments. Weighed down by more than $300 billion in liabilities, its shares have since lost over 99% of their value, marking one of the steepest corporate collapses in China's history. At its peak, Evergrande had 1,300 projects across 280 Chinese cities and was linked to businesses ranging from electric cars to professional football. The founder, once Asia's richest man, saw his wealth evaporate as regulators fined him $6.5 million and banned him from capital markets for life. The company also overstated revenues by $78 billion, deepening investor mistrust. The fallout rippled through the economy, hitting construction, finance, millions of households that had invested their savings in unfinished properties. China's property sector once made up nearly a third of the country's GDP and was a vital revenue source for the local governments. But Beijing has resisted direct bailouts for developers, wary of reckless borrowing. Instead, billions have been channeled into stabilizing projects, providing cheaper credit and supporting the home buyers. The government's focus has shifted away from its state as a growth engine towards strategic priorities like renewable energy, electric vehicles, AI, signaling a fundamental reset of China's economic model. Over the the years, India has made its mark as an investment paradise for tech companies around the world. But now India is fast gaining ground in a different realm, the global AI market, attracting tech giants to compete for leadership and dominance. The reason why we're saying that is because last week, OpenAI announced its formal entry into India, as it has announced the setting up of its first office in New Delhi later this year. Here are some of the ways in which India has embraced OpenAI so far. For starters, India is now ChatGPT's second largest market globally and one of its fastest growing. In the past year, weekly active users have quadrupled, with students making up the largest share of the user base anywhere in the world. Besides that, India also ranking among the top 5 developer markets on OpenAI's platform. But how exactly is OpenAI planning to level up its India game really? Via ChatGPT Go, an affordable subscription plan, reportedly. It's priced at 399 rupees per month, one that also comes with UPI integration as a way to pander to India's digital payment ecosystem. That's not all. With initiatives like OpenAI Academy, an AI literacy program in partnership with the Ministry of Electronics and IT, and a new study mode aimed at engaging India's student base, OpenAI has made significant strides in the Indian market. However, OpenAI is not alone, of course. Giants like Google, Microsoft have stepped in a big way. There is more to India's foray into the all-important AI space. India ranking 7th in the global AI innovation race, beating countries like the UK. According to a new study, India is leading in terms of workforce adoption of AI tools and strategies, with a total of 92% workers using AI in their daily tasks. In another finding released by a US-based technology group, India has even emerged ahead of China in the AI Superpower Ranking 2025. With China tightening AI controls and the US wary of Beijing's AI progress, India's thriving ecosystem in that sense has been a welcome change for alternate AI developers in a way. Experts suggest these factors have positioned India as a strategic counterweight in a way to the US and China in the AI domain. However, challenges remain, with many foreign institutional investors reportedly pulling out of the Indian stock market since the beginning of the year. What's the reason? The lack of a large listed AI firm, even as investments in AI firms continue to grow by leaps and bounds. Factors like weak infrastructure, limited funding, dependence on foreign technologies also acting as a deterrent in a way. Concerted action from the government and policymakers, of course, continuing to expand infrastructure and encourage innovation at scale. And the moment is well and truly here to stir up an AI revolution. Typhoon Kajiki has made landfall in central Vietnam, bringing heavy rain and strong winds up to 133 kilometers per hour as it slowly pushes inland. Tens of thousands of people have been evacuated from the coastal areas to safer locations. The typhoon made landfall between the provinces, forcing the closure of 2 domestic airports and cancellation of 35 flights. More than 325,000 people across 5 coastal provinces have been ordered to evacuate, with schools and public buildings converted into temporary shelters.
I am worried, but I have to endure it. I've only brought essential items. I am very worried, but I can't do anything apart from enduring it.
Streets are empty, with shops and restaurants closing their doors. Residents and business owners sandbagged entrances to protect their properties from the water damage. Officials have deployed over 16,000 military personnel to support the evacuation and have ordered all fishing boats to return to harbour. At least 400 communes across 6 provinces have been put on alert for a risk of flash floods and landslides. Earlier, the storm battered China's Henan Island, toppling trees and cutting power. Nearly 20,000 residents were evacuated. The city of Sanya shut down tourist areas and halted most public activity. Vietnam has already seen over 100 people killed or reported missing due to natural disasters in 2025 itself. The government estimating damage so far this year has exceeded $21 million. Are we alone, or are alien visitors already hiding close to home? That big question looming. For decades, telescopes, radars have scanned the vast universe, searching for a single sign of extraterrestrial life. And now scientists have turned their gaze closer to Earth's own shadow, hunting mysterious probes lurking in the darkness. Take a look at this report.
Are aliens there? We have countless telescopes, radars, and satellite arrays searching every corner of the universe for artificial signals. But a new approach is changing the game, shifting focus to a hidden zone much nearer Earth's shadow. This natural cone, cast high above Earth where no sunlight reaches, is a cosmic blind spot free from reflection by human satellites and space junk. A new study published in monthly notices of the Royal Astronomical Society describes this innovative method for detecting potential extraterrestrial probes near Earth. It's an ideal, quiet hunting ground for strange objects. The Lagrange points, gravitational sweet spots where objects hover effortlessly, sit within this shadow. These are natural parking spaces for interstellar visitors, places where alien technology could watch, wait, and record our every move. The hunt has already begun. Scientists are scanning for heat signatures, metallic reflections, anything that shouldn't be there but is. The implications are staggering. If probes exist in Earth's shadow, they've been documenting human civilization for decades, maybe centuries, recording our wars, our progress. Every eclipse creates this shadow highway. Every month, Earth's gravitational shadow sweeps across space, the perfect corridor for alien technology to slip past our defenses unnoticed. The hunt continues, the shadow keeps its secrets, but science is closing in.
On to Bangladesh, where thousands of Rohingya refugees rallied to mark the 8th anniversary of the violent military crackdown in Myanmar that forced them from their homes. Living in crowded camps in Bangladesh's Cox's Bazar, the Rohingya community called for justice, demanding the right to return to their homeland with dignity and safety. % of Americans now expect unemployment to rise in the next 12 months. That's one of the highest readings since the 2008 financial crisis, and the share has doubled in less than a year, by the way. Interestingly, households in the top third of income are more pessimistic than the middle and lower income groups. Historically, such a sharp shift in sentiment has preceded a surge in unemployment in every single cycle. The data suggests the US labor market may be cracking. The Fed chair, meanwhile, acknowledged this challenge, noting that inflation risks remain to the upside while employment risks tilt to the downside. Despite the national unemployment rate holding steady at 4.2%, young Americans face a different reality. In July, 13.4% of unemployed Americans were new labor force entrants, including fresh graduates. And that's the highest share in 37 years. For degree holders between the ages of 22 and 27, unemployment has climbed to 5.8%, the worst since 2012, excluding the pandemic. Several forces are driving the youth job crunch. White-collar sectors are holding back on entry-level hiring, while artificial intelligence is automating routine graduate roles. Job platforms reporting a 400% surge in postings requiring AI skills. At the same time, credential inflation has pushed up degree requirements, leaving many overqualified yet underemployed. Today, 41% of the recent graduates are in jobs that do not need a degree. This mismatch not only weighs on young workers' earnings, but also risks broader economic drag as Gen Z delays spending, home buying, and other milestones. Scientists in India have uncovered a fossil of a reptile that once swam in rivers nearly 200 million years ago. This rare discovery found in Jaisalmer's village is expected to enable a better understanding of India's prehistoric life. A team from a Jodhpur-based university, in fact, unearthed the remains of a crocodile-like reptile that reportedly lived during the Jurassic Age. Measuring about 1.5 to 2 meters, the skeleton revealing a medium-sized predator that, according to the researchers, thrived along ancient rivers. The team even discovered an egg nearby, offering a rare clue into the reproductive life of this long-extinct reptile. Phytosaurs were reportedly survivors of the mass extinction that wiped out much of life on Earth at the end of the Permian era. That ended nearly 300 million years ago. The reptile is said to have fed largely on fish and played a vital role in balancing the river ecosystems. And what makes this find extraordinary is also that it is India's first phytosaur fossil and only the second such discovery worldwide. According to reports, the site in Rajasthan showing signs of holding more fossilized remains, possibly even of dinosaurs. The fossil was recovered from a Jurassic-era hill range that stretches nearly 20 kilometers. Made up of sandstone and iron-rich rocks, the terrain has long been considered a treasure chest of ancient life. Experts saying such discoveries could dramatically reshape our understanding of the subcontinent's prehistoric ecosystems. A world record was set over the weekend. A basketball card featuring Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant was sold for $12.9 million, making it the most expensive sports card ever. The card has images of the two stars as well as their signatures and NBA logo patches from their jerseys. The card is known as the 2007-08 Upper Deck Exquisite Collection Dual Logo Man. Cards featuring a league's logo are among the most sought after by collectors. And the dual NBA logo autograph series, which was produced by trading card company Upper Deck between 2004 and 2009, features some of basketball's biggest stars sharing the same card. Jordan is widely regarded as the greatest basketball player of all time. While the late Kobe Bryant is also considered an NBA legend, Bryant died in a helicopter crash in 2020. The card had been in the hands of its previous owner for more than a decade and went into auction with a valuation of around $6 million. In total, 82 bids were then received. That honor belongs to the Jersey baseball legend Babe Ruth was wearing when he supposedly called his shot during the 1932 World Series. And that jersey sold for $24 million last year. Tamil rap has gone from a subculture in Kuala Lumpur to a global phenomenon. Kuala Lumpur is more than just another stop on the tour. It is the birthplace of the art form. What began as a grassroots expression among the Tamil diaspora in Malaysia has now evolved into a sound with global reach. In Malaysia, where the Tamil community forms the largest Indian ethnic group, rap became a tool to assert identity in a way. Young artists have fused hip-hop beats with Tamil lyrics, speaking about cultural heritage, migration, pride. In the year 2006, the heart of Brickfields, Kuala Lumpur's predominantly Tamil neighborhood, saw a cultural turning point. A giant poster loomed over the streets while underground rappers were making headlines with the Valavan-inspired mixes and their breakout track. And that moment helped cement Tamil rap as more than just a subculture. From there, the genre spread fast. First across Malaysia and Singapore, then to Tamil Nadu itself, where it was embraced and amplified. Today, Tamil rap is a part of Kollywood soundtracks, international tours, streaming charts world over. It's no longer just about music. It's about representation. For a generation of Tamils across Malaysia, India, Sri Lanka, and the diaspora, Tamil rap is proof that their language and identity belong in the global conversation strongly. And Tamil rap has come a long way. It's only getting louder. Those who had aspirations to become a fashion model, to see their names in fashion catalogs and faces on billboards, might be in for a shock. AI models are now becoming a reality. More in this detailed report.
In 2025, the global modeling industry has been valued at around $13.3 billion, and it's projected to grow in the coming years. With the post-pandemic recovery and a steep increase in the influencer model hybrids, the industry is shattering norms. But the question is, will artificial intelligence take over the glamorous industry? Well, a few instances in the recent past might leave modeling aspirants worried.
33K likes. If we look at engagement here.
Vivi is a young and beautiful girl who has been featuring in fashion magazines around the world, but she's not a real person. She was created by London-based AI fashion house Serafin Valora, and architecture graduates Valentina Gonzalez and Andrea Petrescu are behind the house. Vivi has found popularity after she starred in a campaign for fashion brand Guess and went on to appear in the pages of celebrated fashion magazines.
So this is Vivian Valora. Vivi is a model that we made for Guess. Basically what we do is that when we work with a brand, we discover the brand DNA. The brand DNA is not only their work, it's also their model. Their model is a big part of what makes a brand. So Vivi is a representation of what Guess has usually done in the past. It's a beautiful woman. She looks like a goddess. She's feminine, sensual.
A key reason behind Vivi's popularity, as explained by its makers, is that AI can reduce campaign costs and cut down on the need for expensive outdoor shoots. For context, the Guess campaign was inspired by the streets of Cartagena in Colombia, but it was completely designed and produced in the United Kingdom. Notably, Vivi isn't the only AI model. Anastasia is another AI-generated model that has created waves. While the AI models so far are following the traditional conventions of beauty, they can later be produced in any ethnicity, any size, and weight. The team is aware about the fear the rise of AI models has generated and is quick to dismiss it as well.
And we are not trying to replace anything, but we are really trying to give a real solution, because in classic photography, you might be able to afford, due to limitations, maybe 2 campaigns a year. But with AI, things can be faster, more flexible. We can provide content around the year.
While there are so many modeling aspirants waiting to find their big break in the world of fashion, it remains to be seen if AI-generated models will take the jobs, all in the name of cost-cutting.
And with that, it's a wrap on this edition of Gravitas Tonight. This is me, Molly Gambhir, signing off, leaving you with Gravitas Worldview. Thanks for watching.
To bring the benefits of the Subhash Chandra Show to your educational institution, teachers and students, send an invitation to Juhi Jha at juhin@such.org.in.
From the bustling trading floors of Wall Street,